friends, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. We're having a snowstorm today. Snowstorm in April. It's very pretty though. I love it when it snows because everything feels so quiet. I did recently get myself a pretty amazing moderator. I had to put up healthy boundaries. I was getting, you know, I don't want to talk about my comment section or give like negative commenters power anymore. But I had to put up a boundary because I was getting like abusive comments towards me. And my favorite reader recently, if you don't want to hear this, just feel free to skip ahead. But I feel like I want to speak my truth for a minute. My favorite reader recently did a reading where she said the same thing. Like she said, I've become pretty numb to negative comments, but she made a comment about these abusive comments that we get as readers. And she made a really good point, and I'm going to say it. For those of you who have, I know that most of you leave me beautiful comments. And I know that as readers, we are dealing with very wounded people at times, people who feel quite wounded and alone. But my favorite reader said, if you can lash out at a complete stranger online, the reader that you don't even know, and take your trauma out on that reader, how do you treat the people in your life? You know? Like if you can treat a complete stranger like that, how do you treat the people that you're connected to? Is that how you treated the person that you were connected to in a love connection? And she said it perfectly, that you really need to turn that finger around and look at yourself and not take it out on a complete stranger. So I felt like I had to put up some boundaries. So I got myself an awesome moderator. So I don't have to see that garbage anymore. Again, this isn't about me giving negative comments attention. It's not about me, you know, it's not about me being too sensitive. I've actually worked very hard on not letting those comments get to me, but at some point, I need to put up a boundary and stop taking that abuse. It's ridiculous. I had one yesterday that really crossed a line with me. They left a comment about that long. They really crossed a line with me. And that was the moment that I was like, that's it. I need a boundary. I need a moderator. So my page feels lighter already. So if you are that person or those people who leave those comments where you're lashing out and they're disappearing into oblivion, it's because you've been removed. Anyway, this reading may have to do with boundaries. I don't know. The fact that I mentioned that, again, I don't like to give that type of energy attention. But I think there's very valuable wisdom in what my favorite reader said, which was, if that's how you can treat someone you don't even know, how are you treating the people in your life? And then you wonder why you're wounded. And stop watching love readings and start working on yourself. But anyway, I had to say something because I also feel as readers, we have a right to speak our mind and speak our truth. So that's my truth, and I spoke it. And now that I have that awesome moderator who is my bestie, Michelle, I'm not going to bring it up again. But seriously, a few people crossed the line and I had to do something. So again, I'll be curious if that the energy of boundaries comes out in this reading. But let's get into your reading. Thank you for listening to that. Again, I believe in not judging others and love and light and unconditional love. I've been wearing pink for like 3 days straight, which is the color of unconditional love. And I do see people like that as wounded, and I do feel sorry for them. But just because I'm a being of love and light doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to speak my truth. So that's my truth. And the next time you want to point your finger at someone, especially a healer on the internet, turn that finger around and look inward. Anyway, let's get into it. So, my friends, this is going to be a love reading, and you'll know if it resonates. I'm going to do an energy check. This is a deck called What's the Vibe? So I'm going to see how your vibe and your person's vibe so that you know if it's your reading. And like I mentioned in a reading that I posted earlier, don't give your power away to other people. And I know that's kind of hypocritical of me because I just went on this rant about, you know, those comments. The thing is I didn't give my power away to those comments. I've learned not to give my power away to those comments, but I have to learn how to draw a line somewhere when it becomes abusive. What was my point? My point is that I've seen a few comments recently. This isn't going to be like, I'm not setting out with the intention that this is a counterpart reading. But just remember, I just have another important thing to say. If you feel like you're on the counterpart journey, don't let other people's opinions about that journey take away from your experience or invalidate your experience. I've seen quite a few comments recently saying that twin flames aren't meant to come into union. And while I agree that not all twin flames come into union, I do not believe that twin flames are never meant to come into union. And we all have our different beliefs based on our journeys. The people that I learn from are all counterparts in union and have been through the entire journey. And just remember, you're the one that knows your truth, and don't let other people discourage you or get you down because they didn't come into union. Anyway, I also wanted to say that because it's also a very confusing journey. Not that I'm saying this is a twin flame reading, but I wanted to put that out there because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of, you know, people who, and I'm probably going to trigger people by saying this, but there's a lot of people out there with the opinion that twin flame union doesn't happen and twin flames aren't real. And that's an indication that maybe they weren't actually in a twin flame dynamic. I have to say it. But anyway, I just want to, let's move away from my ranting and get into this reading. I'm not going to apologize though for speaking my truth when I feel guided to speak my truth. So I had to say it. So we have burned bridges. So somebody could have burned a bridge here. There could have been a very painful ending between you and someone else where they burned that bridge. Interesting. I feel like this is going to be an interesting reading based on the fact that I wasn't planning on saying anything. It all just kind of came out there, but I think this is going to be an interesting reading. So we have today good vibes now in the moment. You could be celebrating a birthday. That is, you know, a birthday cake. But today, good vibes, focusing on the now, living in the present, very nice. So like I said, I'm going to get your energy and your person's energy to see what's going on here. Keep in mind that even though I'm saying this is you on this side, you may resonate more with that side. So you'll have to flip the energy. But let's start with you. So show me the viewer's energy. Show me the viewer's energy, please. We have hopeful, inspired, optimistic, success. So trying to keep a positive mindset. There's something about this card. I haven't looked at this card, but there's something about this card that reminds me of releasing and walking away and letting go of the outcome. It reminds me of the Eight of Cups. Kind of because you see this card, there's lights in it, and then there's like a trail going off into the sunset. So I feel, and I got chills when I said that, which is confirmation from my guides. So I feel like you're someone who, you know, could be focusing on better days ahead, focusing on your future, feeling inspired about other things in your life, trying to live in the present moment, like we saw on the bottom of the deck. But you also are hopeful and optimistic that everything will work out for you. And it's, you know, that's actually a really beautiful energy to have, because what you put out is what you call in. And that's what I wish that I could get through to some of these people who are so negative, that negativity that they're putting out there, they're just calling back in over and over and over again. So I like that. But like I said, it reminds me of the Eight of Cups. So you could be releasing your attachment over this, trying to remain hopeful. Yes, yes, I love you so much. We have epiphany, self-reflection, answered questions, untapped talents. So you could be someone who's tapping into your untapped talents. And I was listening to a reading this morning by my favorite reader. I talk about her constantly, but I just love her so much. And I'm someone, I don't resonate with all of her readings, but I listen to all of them because I just love her energy. But she mentioned something very interesting to me that I resonate with, and I've mentioned it to you. But you could be realizing that you have like untapped talents and a mission, and that could be what you're focusing on right now or thinking about focusing on. And she mentioned, you know, if you're someone who collects crystals all the time for no reason, you could have a connection or a life path working with crystals and Reiki. She mentioned if you just collect tarot or are really drawn to like watching tarot, you just love watching tarot, even if it doesn't resonate, and maybe you collect decks here and there, but you don't really use them for yourself. She said that could be an indication that you're meant to be a tarot reader. And it reminded me of myself years ago when I got into tarot, and I showed you guys my shelf in one of my recent readings, but like I started collecting tarot for no reason. Like it didn't make sense to me. I just started collecting all of these tarot decks, and it was like my higher self was preparing me for what I was meant to do. Again, that animal deck that I use all the time, I bought that deck and it sat on my shelf collecting dust for almost a year, along with many other decks. And I had no idea why I kept buying the decks. And then I would always use my Light Seers Tarot, but I wouldn't use the other ones. It was because I was preparing myself. So, you know, it makes me think of a squirrel, the way that squirrel stores nuts away for winter. So if you find yourself, you know, gravitating towards something like that, like tarot cards or crystals or art supplies or psychology books, books about healing, and you haven't read them, there's a reason, I'm hearing. But this is so nice. This is so nice. I am fighting, like I myself in my own journey, I'm trying to learn how to not over apologize. And I do, seeing this energy, I feel bad that I came into this reading and I was like, "Rrr." But I just, again, I don't believe that being a being of love and light means putting on a facade or never speaking your truth. And I just, for me, like Queen of Swords energy, if I have a truth in me that I need to speak, I need to speak it. And I don't, like I said, I don't go on little rants like that a lot. But I really felt called to say something about that. But anyway, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Self-reflection. tapping into your untapped talents or trying to figure out what your untapped talent is. And we are all born magical. It's just programmed out of us. And again, releasing the outcome, but remaining hopeful for the future, whatever the universe brings you. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. So, the person you're connected to. 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 Oh, that's good. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Sorry. I was not expecting that. What? Interesting. I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting. We have masculine energy, authority, discipline, father figure today. Good vibes now in the moment. That is really good. That's really good. It looks like whoever you're connected to, both of you are in very good energies. Your person seems to be in masculine energy, so feeling more empowered, feeling more confident, focusing on their stability, and living in the moment, not living in the past and not fearing for the future, which it looks to me like you're both in that energy. That's really good. That's really good. So I had no plan for this reading, but I just kind of want to get an animal card since I mentioned them to check out each of your energies. And you know what? Let's get a connecting energy. We're just going to get a bunch of different decks, I think. Let's start with this one. Again, I had no plan for this reading. We have High Priestess, listening to your intuition. Like I said, trust your intuition and don't let other people's opinions about this journey, if you are on that journey. Or even, it doesn't even matter if you don't feel like you're on the counterpart journey. Don't let other people's opinions dictate your life. And I feel like that goes for both of you. So that was the High Priestess. So trusting your intuition. We have opening up. That's so nice. I just want to get a connecting card. Judgment. So let's see the connecting energy between you. Oh my, we have Hermit energy, self-reflection. This is beautiful, and I love the two blue birds here. I feel like that could be very symbolic of you and your person. But Hermit energy, isolation, separation, silence, self-reflection. Even your person's energy, like focusing in the moment, very self-focused energy. I really like it. That's nice. And we have Five of Swords in reverse on the bottom. That's so nice. Reflecting on self-sabotaging behaviors, reflecting on wounds. Five of Wands in reverse is about making amends. Five of Swords in reverse is about making amends. It's about the end of those self-sabotaging behaviors. Very nice. That's very nice. So let's get one more card for connecting energy. We all have different, like if you're a tarot reader or you're learning how to read tarot, please know that it is an art form and each reader has a different way of reading. There's no rules to tarot, and don't let these people who tell you that you have to do it a certain way, or don't listen to them. It's an art form. It's an intuitive art form, and each reader finds their own way of reading. And, people tell me all the time, you should read like this, but again, it's each reader is different in how they read and interpret things. So I don't know why I keep bringing that up. Like you could be a tarot reader, or you could be thinking about being a tarot reader, or even like Reiki. When it comes to, I did not expect this reading to be like this, but when it comes to light working, you know, you don't have to fit inside of a box, is what I'm hearing. Color outside of the lines. Who cares what anybody says? Who cares if you've got someone saying, you're supposed to color inside of the lines? That's not how you color. Don't listen to them. Color outside the lines. Color however you want to. All right, so as the way I read, the bottom of the deck is always very symbolic to me. So for bottom of the deck energy, I've already explained it. We have Hermit energy, self-reflection. We've got the Five of Swords in reverse. So reflection about, like I said, conflict, self-sabotaging behaviors, things like that. And there is an energy of reconciliation, or like wanting to reconciliate. So, and I do feel like you're hopeful that if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. All right. I also feel called to say that, nope, Spirit's stopping me, so I'm not going to say it. Never mind. I know some of you were like, what were you about to say? I want to know. If it comes through again, I'll mention it, but my guides just stopped me from saying it, so maybe I'm not supposed to say it right now. All right, so let's see connecting energy between you. Connecting energy between you. We've got the sacral chakra, and we have you. We have master, is it master? Master on the bottom, very nice. So mastering unhealthy attachments, mastering your shadows is what I'm hearing. Releasing those releasing those shadows, a lot of self-reflection between you and your person. And sacral chakra is I want. So both of you figuring out what you want in life, both of you trusting or listening to your intuition about what you want. There's a lot of self-reflection about what you want for the future. And again, not just about this connection, but your future. You know, I always say take the idea of union off the table. What do you want for your future when it doesn't come to that? Because that's just icing on the cake. I feel like both of you are thinking like long-term, what do you want in your future? Very nice. So the sacral chakra, located 2 fingers below your navel, relates to emotions, desires, creativity, and sexuality. So for some of you, sexuality could be a thing here as well. So I'm going to read this to you. To activate this chakra, visualize a glowing orange ball of energy in your belly area. See it spinning and sparkling. Feel joy as it grows larger and sends orange sparks out into the universe. By energizing the sacral chakra, you attract creativity, joy, passion, and love into your life. This is beautiful. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay. So I feel like this is what is being reflected on right now and released. And it's funny because when I started this reading, I did mention about if you have that fear and negativity, that's what you call in. So the Master card, fear and doubt often prevent, and this is what there's reflection on, self-reflection. Also fear and doubt about going after your dreams, I'm hearing. Fear and doubt about this connection. And I'm talking more about your person, like maybe your person had fear about this connection. They could have had fear of intimacy, but Fear and doubt often prevent, I think this is very important for some of you to hear because I spent so much time talking about my comment section and about how don't let other people's comments or opinions put fear into you, because that will block your intuition and it will block you from manifesting what you want and opening up. Fear and doubt often prevent a relationship from flowering or manifesting. In matters of the heart, it restricts and confines, and that's why readers will tell you to try to keep a positive mindset, that whatever you're projecting out is what you're calling in. They prevent you from opening to joy and love that's waiting for you. A fearful heart closes in upon itself and sees only negativity and doubt. Your fears can even make you question your own value, causing you to wonder whether you're worthy of being loved or if you'll ever find love. These thoughts, if not controlled, will manifest more of the same, continuing a never-ending destructive cycle. It's time to take action. To master your fears, you must first identify them, and that's why it's so nice that we had that hermit energy, because I feel like you and your person are both identifying and reflecting on those fears and those shadows. What fears about love have you allowed yourself to believe? And I have to mention, since I've started talking about this, the sacral chakra and the mastering your fear and doubt, I feel like I'm on fire, which is Phoenix energy. So what fears about love have you allowed yourself to believe? Are you concerned about being unlovable? Are you uneasy about giving up your freedom in order to be in a relationship? Do you find it too difficult to speak up? Oh my gosh, as I was saying, I need to speak my truth. Do you feel it's difficult for you to speak up and share your voice? Sit quietly and uncover what may be holding you back. By the very act of facing your fears, you will recognize them for the deceptions they are, and you will discover the power to master and eliminate them. The absence of fear is unconditional love. And I mentioned how I've been wearing pink for 3 days. I've been wearing different shades of pink. And I said, which is linked to unconditional love. Please take some time to look at your fears and doubts so that you can release them. And just listen, if you see somebody projecting their fear and doubt onto you, just know that that's their fear and doubt and that's blocking them. Don't let it block yours. This will free you to manifest joy in loving relationships. Know that you can have the relationships you desire. So affirmation, I now release my fears and open fully to a loving relationship with myself and others. So this, the fact that this is coming out, I feel like someone here had a fear of love, fear of intimacy, and I'm not going to say who, because you'll know who. And someone here had a fear of, someone had lack of self-love is what I'm hearing. I think maybe both of you had lack of self-love. But again, remember, Hermit energy, 5 of Swords in reverse. These things are being reflected on and released. And I can't stress the importance of that. And I feel like you're already getting there with that hopeful. Again, I was seeing 8 of Cups, even though I feel like you've had to walk away, you're still keeping a positive mindset. Yeah, confronting shadows. Yes, love it. That's funny because I kept wanting to say confront instead of master, and confront was right underneath. So right now, connecting energy, it feels like you and whoever you're connected to are confronting your fears around love, around self-love, around joy, around creativity, around sexuality. Everything that Sacral card talked about. All right. So let's get an animal card for each of you. The oyster. If you don't know what the oyster means, I highly recommend this deck. It's amazing. But if you don't know what the oyster means, it talks about taking your inner gifts for granted and becoming shy and doubtful and fearful about sharing them. Just wanted to throw that out there. Oh my gosh, the unicorn questioning divinity. There's a reason there's a reason that I felt called to bring those things up. So questioning divinity, the unicorn, questioning the magic. And I've been there. I get it. Like, I understand those people who question it. I understand because I've been there. But I'm someone who's made it through the other side, which is why I believe so strongly in what I do. I need to read this. I need to read it just because it's one of my favorite cards. But again, the way that I read tarot, when I feel that connection to a card, I have to read it. Reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. Yes, you can. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to the curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. I just got chills as I read that. Lovely. More confirmation from my guides. Oh, we have the butterfly transformation. Beautiful. All right, so let's cut the deck. We have the dolphin on the bottom, that and the vulture. Okay, see, this is, there's a message here. There's a message, and we have the sea serpent. Okay, so I'm just gonna, Spirit's telling me to talk about all of this. So the vulture, essential for rebalance, essential for purification. What you thought was a tragedy was actually a blessing in disguise. So many people see like separation as a tragedy, but it's actually a blessing in disguise because it allows the universe, the divine, to do what it needs to do. It allows, time for things to heal, awakenings to happen. With the dolphin card, I need to read the dolphin. Innately intelligent, healer, light, and blessings. And look at the way that I laid the cards down. Like I instinctively put the dolphin over here and the vulture over here. So when in balance, active healer, strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, underestimates own power. To bring into balance, like-minded spirits. So again, surround yourself, or only, again, you don't have to listen to anyone, but surrounding yourself with like-minded people and not paying attention to the people who are full of fear and doubt will help uplift your spirit and help bring you back into balance. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts. And remember that tangent I went on about if you collect crystals, if you collect books about healing, if you collect psychology books, if you collect tarot cards. They are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make on the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming into contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate that a profound blessing is on its way. My guides are telling me to leave the cards where they are. And then your person looks to be going through some sort of repurification. Essential for rebalance. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic and aggressive. So you could resonate with this person in the past being like dramatic and aggressive, distorted masculine energy, but they've got masculine energy in the upright, the vulture's in the upright. To bring into balance, clean your space. So your person could be really focused on cleaning their space or organizing their home or cleaning up their life. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. So when I hear that, I also think of like someone who's misunderstood, someone who's a lost soul, someone who has a lot of wounding that other people maybe label. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is great, and I have chills as I'm connecting it to your person. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is actually a blessing in disguise. So again, my guides are telling me to leave the cards where I've put them. And I listen to my guides. Oh my gosh, this is... For connecting energy, you also had the Hermit, remember? And I talked about healing self-sabotaging behaviors. The Sea Serpent, healing emotional wounds, learning how to express your desires. The Sea Serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity. Remember, Sacral chakra talked about creativity. Sensuality or desire. The Sea Serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually. And remember, this card talked about sexuality, so I have to mention it. I don't feel like I mention it enough in my readings when it comes out. Without fear or shame. And I don't know why this is coming through. I'm getting emotional all of a sudden because I don't talk about it enough. But my heart goes out to anybody who struggles with their sexuality and feels like they have to hide who they are because of their parents or because of the world or because of the pressure or because of the judgment of others. And I don't talk about it enough, and I really should, because there is something about that in this reading. So I just wanted to mention that. Our hearts are at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the Sea Serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our life, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the Sea Serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. And I think it's funny that I had no idea why. I wasn't going to say anything about my comment section or any of it. But this card also talks about like expressing your truth and expressing your true nature. And I think that's very symbolic for this reading. Anyway, my guides are telling me to leave the cards where they are, so I'm going to. And the nightingale's underneath that, which also has to do with expression. So I'm just going to get one more card for each of you. So let's get a card for you, my little dolphin. A card for the dolphin. Show me a card for the dolphin. That flipped back in. It was the elk, but it flipped back in. It flipped back in and my guides are telling me to leave it in the deck, but it's gone now. I think it's earth, or is it fire? It must be fire. I thought it would be earth. Am I just imagining things here? Look, it wasn't your card. Look at that. I couldn't find it. So it wasn't your card. That was weird. So show me the dolphin's energy. I'm going to laugh if it comes out again. Okay, so we've got the beaver in reverse, and we need to talk about this because the beaver in reverse, this reading is something else. The beaver in reverse talks about feeling worn out. So you could be feeling very worn out right now, or you could be feeling, you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing, for some of you, you may resonate with feeling worn out right now, but to bring back into balance the beaver, it talks about meaningful work. So there's something here on your side about untapped talents, being optimistic about the future, being a healer. That dolphin, talks about being a healer, having a gift to help people. And the beaver in reverse, like I said, talks about to bring into balance meaningful work, self-service, helping others. So if you are someone who's feeling useless and worn out, Spirit's telling you to put your energy into work that you find meaningful, which, has already come out in this reading a bunch of times. And expressing yourself creatively. Why can't I say that? So if you are feeling that beaver energy, why can't I find anything anymore? So the beaver, hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first, when out of balance, feels useless and worn out. So the beaver card appears, this is for you, my friend. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some selfless service. And maybe you're having a hard time, maybe for some of you, you're having a hard time with the beaver initiating whatever this is. But once you initiate it, the beaver card says, once you initiate it, you will work steadily at it and be very successful and stable. I'm on the fence if you're actually feeling useless and worn out, but you could be. All right, let's get your person's energy. Also, you have the starfish on the bottom. And the starfish, this is reminding me of the reading I did the other day. The starfish, what dreams have I put aside to please others? So, what dreams have you put aside to please others? And let's get one more for your person. That one flipped back in. Whoa! I don't know if you saw that, but same with you. There was a card that flipped out and flipped back in, and then this one came flying out. The swan, very nice. And we have the snake. Very powerful energy. So the swan is about solo time and reflection, and about tapping into your intuition and that inner voice. And I'm talking about your person, although you may be resonating with this side, I don't know. But it talks about tapping into your intuition and your inner voice and being very still, a lot of reflection, And you know what I'm about to say, the swan is a symbol of twin flames, so you could resonate with being a counterpart. So, solo time, to bring into balance solo time. And it talks about heightened creativity, which both of these cards talked about creativity. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard. That's your person's energy. And then we had the snake. So I feel like right away I'm hearing there could be some sort of skin being shed here, some sort of layer being shed. So the snake, guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. It's worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within you. What would your life look like if you woke it up? So it feels like your person is being woken up, if that makes sense. And what felt like a tragedy in their life, whether that was separation with you, whether that was something in their life, is actually a blessing in disguise, because it's what it's doing is it's calling them to wake up here with the snake. I just saw the Phoenix card. All right. So we had Virgo energy with the Hermit card. We had Capricorn energy. We have water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Aries, or fire energy. And then we have a spiritual energy, like spiritual and like chakra energy. So very spiritual connection is what this feels like. And F what anybody says about it, right? So I just want to get, like I said, I'm being called to like random decks here. So I'm just going to get a card for you and a card for your person. Come on. Someone could have a chest tattoo here as well. And there's something about that tattoo that reminds me of Zelda. So Zelda could be symbolic. All right, so like I said, I'm going to get a card for you, and then I'm going to get a card for your person. We have Between Worlds, and that is so... I feel like that's very symbolic. Like both of you are about to step into your power is what I'm hearing. Between worlds. You're like you're in the in-between. All right. Let me just see if there's anything in that card that I need to... So let me see. The Between World cards, the line that's like shouting out to me. Allow yourself to explore who you are and what is reflected back to you. This relationship is meant to educate you about yourself. What do you need? What do you like or dislike? What values are important to you? You are in a critical phase of your relationship that is not to be dismissed or hurried. Okay, so this Hermit energy is not meant to be wished away or hurried, or I'm hearing even given up on out of doubt and fear. This is a critical phase of this connection. I can see how much is happening here. All right. So let's get a card for you. Oh, we have the Fates. So what are you destined to be doing is what I'm hearing. Star energy, so healing, keeping hope alive, not losing hope in this. You clearly feel like this is a fated connection. Again, maybe something about what are you destined to do. I'm almost called to look at the like prosperity message, which links to career. Oh my gosh. Your experiences concerning prosperity and abundance are beyond your personal control right now. So you could be feeling very like negative about work right now, like not your soul path, but about your day job. You are being invited to accept what is. This could be a temporary situation seemingly thrust upon you by outside forces, but there is an underlying purpose that you can't see that has been determined by the fates. It could be a situation that you were unprepared for, and you may not understand how it will benefit you in the moment. Do not fight this situation. So you could even be having like things removed from your life right now. Ride it out and see where it leads. Surrender to it, and the serenity you need to make good choices from here on out will be given to you. You will indeed flourish. And this fated card, other people are who they are. You can't change them. The challenge is to accept them as they are and to not try and make them otherwise suit you. There is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit your view of how they should be, so that you can remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort, although I don't think you're in a relationship with this person right now. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation is perfect from the perspective from spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honor yourself, spirit, and the other person. Remember I said by walking away, by releasing attachment to it. Love unconditionally for each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. This reading is powerful. This reading is very powerful. Let's get your person's energy. I also kind of want to look at that bottom card to see if I need to read to you anything about that card. I'm going to read it. When you're confident, this is like advice for you. When you're confident and happy in your own skin, and it goes back to what that the Master card was talking about. When you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious connections are all present or will be coming in. You're ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. So I feel like that's your advice. So let's see your person's energy. Show me your person. We have TikTok. Oh, every dang time, every time. You're my witness. Every time I touch this deck. Every time I touch this deck. You're my witness. You've seen it happen every time I touch the deck. So they also had this, it fell into my lap, peace in reverse. So maybe this person is going through something in their life. I'm curious. I don't think I've ever had that card come out in reverse. Oh my goodness. Now is the time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. Even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, all that means is that you must go within and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. Find harmony within yourself and don't look for the outer world to provide certainty. This too shall pass, and once again your life will be filled with beautiful music. This is your person's energy. And I got chills as I was reading that. And we have TikTok, which is 30. I'm going the wrong way. Love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. I feel like this person has things happening to them in divine timing. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is internal and ticks according to the beating of your own heart. Just know that love will always be right on time. So it feels like right now your person is experiencing things that are happening in divine timing for them in order for them to wake up. What feels like a tragedy is actually a blessing in disguise. And this too shall pass. And then soulmates, although I don't even think I need to keep reading the soulmate card to you. I've read it to you so many times. I've read it to you so many times, you probably have it memorized. An important relationship brings you to your knees. This is the kind of soulmate who comes with a powerful gift. Your patterns and all your old stories that don't serve your well-being. Remember the Hermit and the Five of Swords in reverse. And all of your old stories that don't serve your well-being, enter this dynamic so that you can heal them. This person is called to a sacred task to help you learn, even if it seems uncomfortable, sticky, or inconceivable. So this person, it's on their side. So you have been called to a sacred task to help them learn, even if it seems uncomfortable, sticky, or inconceivable. The question is not, why did they do this to me? But what is the gift in it? What is the lesson? Look in the mirror. You will only be changed for the better. So there's a few cards on your person's side talking about reflection and mirroring. So I do think your person is heavily in reflection. But anyway, that was really interesting. That was really interesting. So we're just going to get some tarot. I'm using a new deck that I've never used before on my channel. I was a little bit sad. I thought I ordered a different one, and then this came, and it's like, that's not the deck I wanted, but I'm still going to use it and love it. It's not its fault that I ordered the wrong one, so I'm still going to love it. So we have the Hanged Man, new perspective. So new perspectives for both of you. We have the High Priestess listening to the intuition. So there's a lot of stillness and having to trust intuition here. And I'm just going to shuffle one more time. And we have Temperance. So there's, just like this vulture card talked about, balance is being restored. There's a balancing of energy here. All right, so I'm just going to get a few to see what Spirit wants us to know about this connection. We have the Fool, a free spirit. I feel like you're both free spirits. And look, it's a border collie. I used to have a border collie. Her name was Gracie, and I love her very much. But there's a border collie there. So I feel like you and this person are both free spirits. And we have the World. All right. So, in both of your lives, something could be ending. And you're being called to take a leap of faith towards something new. No, I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about other things. There could be distance between you as well. Emotional, physical distance. Clearly emotional distance. There's a lot about separation. But let's look at your energy first. Interesting. We have the Hierophant. So very spiritual card. Spiritual growth, spiritual evolution. And you could be being called to be a mentor to others or a spiritual guide to others. Very nice. But we have death, external change. So there are things changing in your outward world right now, or your external world. Why did I just say outward? In your external world. So you could be going through a lot of changes with your job or with your living situation, things outside of you, not within you. Although I think you're going through internal changes as well. And we have the Lovers. Wow. Wow. You have Death, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. Maybe this separation is fresh, but I don't know. It didn't feel... The fact that you have Epiphany and Hopeful, it didn't feel very fresh to me, but it could be fresh. But we do have the Lovers, so clearly you do feel like you're in this, you know, divine love connection. Clearly you feel like this connection, very spiritual connection, fated connection I'm hearing. And, you know, if we look at it, did come out crossing. So if we look at the reversal, misaligned values. So you and this person could have, you know, the Lovers in reverse does talk about separation. You know what? Spirit's telling me to flip that over because it was crossing. So we do have separation. Or you and this person could have had misaligned values. I just want to get a few cards for you. We have the Seven of Coins. Good things take time. So you could be someone who's like planting pentacles or manifesting, and Spirit's saying good things take time, especially when there's spiritual lessons that need to be learned first. So I just want to see how you're feeling about this person. Other than divine love connection. We have Judgment, heeding the call, Judgment. Look at all these major arcanas. So for how you're feeling this person, you could be seeing that this person really awakened you with the Judgment energy. You know, they were vital for your own awakening. And heeding the call, it feels like you do feel like this person could be the catalyst to you going after your soul purpose, for example. This person, you feel like because of them, you've done a lot of self-reflection. It also talks about like wanting a renewal, right? Wanting a resurrection. So I do believe that you want, you know, your hope is union with this person. You definitely have romantic feelings for them. Page of Cups on the bottom, which talks about romance. So let's get one more for how you're feeling about them. We have the Page of Swords, Thirst for Knowledge. So for how you feel about them, you want to know what's going on with them. It feels like just that thirst for knowledge. I'm specifically using the keywords on these cards, but it feels like you really do wish you knew what was going on with them. You have a thirst for like a conversation or communication from them. But we have Eight of Cups on the bottom. So walking away, remember what I was saying? I kept seeing the Eight of Cups. So even, you know, for how you feel about this person, you could have felt like you had to walk away until they matured. Someone could be a photographer. I just want to see how you think they're feeling about you. How do you think they're feeling about you? The Star. So what is with all the major arcanas on your side? Holy bananas. So for how you think they feel about you, you do feel like they feel this connection very strongly. That they feel like you're their wish fulfillment. You could also feel like this person feels like you're someone who's done a lot of healing, like maybe they've seen you heal. So I just want to look at what you're hopeful for the future. What are you hopeful for the future? We have the King of Wands. So your hope First of all, your hope for the future, it looks like you want to be a natural born leader and, do something creative. There's a lot of creative energy in this reading, and we're not talking about gender. So just because maybe you don't resonate with being a king, but it doesn't mean that this card isn't for you. But it looks to me like your hope for the future is to be some sort of leader to others, especially in a creative sense. But also your hope for the future is that this person will elevate into that King of Wands and take action and take control of the situation, right? Where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. I just want to look at career. Achievement in career. So I just have to give you the advice here. This is a reminder to trust oneself. So whatever your hopes are for the future, Spirit's saying, trust yourself. Your intuition knows the way. This is a time to fully embrace your strengths and wisdom, which will enable you to make a huge difference in the world. And that's what I feel like your hope is, that you hope to make a difference in the world. I also feel like you hope that this person takes action and takes control of the situation and steps into their power. But let's just ask specifically, what are your hopes for this connection? What are your hopes for this connection? We have decisive moment. Oh, yeah. All right. We have emotional fulfillment on the bottom. 9 of Cups. So your hope for the future is that you'll have emotional fulfillment with this person. That Queen of Coins, that you'll have stability, commitment. There's something else about the Queen of Coins. Let me see if I can remember. Generous, supportive, caring lover, partner, domestic comfort. So your hopes for the future are this, for this connection is that this person will be kind and supportive. We have decisive moment, Wheel of Fortune. So you're hoping that this person, takes decisive action towards you, and there's a moment in the future where everything aligns. And we have 6 of Coins, giving and receiving. So equal give and take and reciprocity. That's your hope for the future. And I did say this connection. All right, what is your advice? What is your advice? What can you be focusing on? What is your advice? Oh, look at your advice. It flipped out in reverse. 5 of Cups, overcoming despair. As I was saying, what can you focus on? So focus on overcoming that energy of feeling useless and worn out, and put your energy into meaningful service, right? And 3 of Wands on the bottom, manifest your dreams. So what can you focus on? Manifesting your dreams, envisioning the future that you want, positive thinking, envisioning it, meditate and envision it. Remain hopeful and positive. Think about what you want for your future. You already are. And overcome that despair. All right? All right, let's get your person's energy. Envision your future as a Hierophant, like as a spiritual mentor is what I'm hearing. Not that you have to, but, if it's commitment that you want with this person, envision that. If it's spiritual growth you want, envision that. Paint that picture in your mind's eye. Manifest that shit. All right, let's look at your person's energy. I'm actually just going to shuffle the deck before I do that. We have the Magician, resourceful creator. All right. So I'm just going to cut the deck. Oh, we have the 5 of Coins left out in the cold. So there's definitely something going on with your person. and Page of Coins, laying a foundation. So they are working on their stability, looking to build a solid foundation, but there's something that's made them feel like left out in the cold. 5 of Coins. All right. So, which we were seeing with Peace in Reverse and the Vulture. So, your person's energy. The Hermit. The Hermit. Self-mastery. So confirmation that your person is hermiting right now. A lot of self-reflection, a lot of solo time, introspection, looking at their wounds, lots of reflection. Very nice. Very nice. And on the bottom, we have 10 of Wands, heavy load. So it does feel like, it feels like something happened to kind of throw them into this hermit energy. Let's get another one for their current energy. Oh, we have the 6 of Cups. Look, we have 6-9, yin and yang. So I do feel like this person is very nostalgic about you right now. Missing you, thinking about you. I also feel like this person found this connection or your energy quite comforting. Red hair could be symbolic for some of you. But this is also about them reflecting on their wounds, on their childhood wounds with the 6 of Cups. Very interesting. There is a message here on the bottom. It says it's not what it seems. So whatever you think this person is going through, like if you think they're fine, it's not what it seems. All right. Let's see how they're feeling about. Is that what I got next for you? Yeah. How are they feeling about you? We've got the 4 of Swords, time for non-action. The Swan. So right now they're feeling like it's not time to take action towards you. And you could be internalizing that. You could be sad about that. Queen of Cups, on, like, come on, love. But they know it's not time to take action right now. They feel that you're very kind, compassionate. Remember, comforting connection. So they find you're very comforting. And if this person is going through something, look at that. That looks like death to me. But anyway, doesn't that look like a grave monument, a monument or something, whatever the words are? I just feel like this person is missing, and I'm feeling very emotional as I'm saying this, but it feels like they're missing your comforting energy, but they don't feel like they can take action towards you right now for whatever reason. Why don't they feel like they can take action? I don't know why I'm asking that. I've never asked that. Why don't they feel like they can't? Why do they feel like they can't take action? Why do they feel like they can't take action? So I almost want to take that in the reverse, loss of motivation. I just feel like this person has a loss of motivation for why they think they can't take action towards you. Maybe they know this is something they have to go through on their own, because the 3 of Coins says doing it together. And I feel like this is someone who knows or feels like they have to go through this alone. Like they have to stand on their own 2 feet. But I was hearing like this loss of motivation. All right, let's keep going. I want to see their intentions for the future. So what are they hoping for the future in this connection? Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is very important. So their hopes for the future, we have 8 of Cups and 10 of Cups, storybook ending. So their hopes for the future is that they can walk away from whatever keeps them stuck, whatever, you know, other people's opinions, things that keep them stuck, their own baggage. Their hopes for the future is that they can leave those in the past, walk away from that past self, and have a storybook ending with you. The 10 of Cups. And they're seeing you as the Queen of Cups. And I've heard other people talk about how on the 10 of Cups, that's meant to be the King and Queen of Cups. Maybe there's something in their life that they need to walk away from in order to have this storybook ending with you, especially like a past version of self. And on the bottom, we have solar eclipse. Big changes are coming, 6 months. So it feels like this person is hoping that within 6 months, they can walk away and come back towards you. And I know that sounds like a long time. That's their intention right now. Like that's kind of the goal that they've set for themselves. And remember right now, you're in between worlds. And remember what that in between worlds card said. This is not a time to rush through this pivotal point. Whatever's happening here needs to happen. But it looks like they've set a goal that within 6 months, they want this storybook ending with you. All right, what action will they take in the future? What action will they take in the future? Well, we've got the Page of Wands, energetic. That's really good. Whoa, King of Cups. Come on. What did I just say about that 10 of Cups? I've never said that about the 10 of Cups until this reading. And I only said it because the Queen of Cups was right there. And now we have the King of Cups. So your person, what are they walking away from? Unhealthy patterns. Devil in reverse. So their next action will be taking control of the situation. I know that 6 months was there. I don't want you to even think about that because that's just their plan. It could happen sooner. I don't want you to stress about that. But their actions, King of Cups, emotional mastery, someone coming in very emotionally intelligent, wanting to put in effort, give love. Devil in reverse, walking away from those unhealthy patterns. Someone who's become more self-aware. Page of Wands, there's the action. Energetic powerhouse. So this person, will take action towards you in the future. And Spirit's saying right now you need to focus on envisioning what you want for the future, going after your dreams, and what is that? Overcoming despair. All right. Let's get a few messages from your person. The only channeled message deck I have within reach is this one, so we're going to use it. It's pink. I support your decision no matter what. So I feel like this person, if you don't want to wait for them, that's fine. You don't ever have to wait for anyone. All right. So let's see what messages you need. Okay, so these could be from them or Spirit. I usually get an indication of what, but also highly intuitive being, you can take your own meaning for these messages. Sometimes it's about letting go, and that's definitely, I feel like, for you. I'm so excited for our future. I feel like that's your higher self and this person coming through. That's the one. All of You. So the song All of You by John Legend. This was meant to be. I feel like this is about your creative endeavors. The time is now. The time is now. And we have this doesn't feel right and why not? So I feel like something didn't feel right in this connection in the past, whether that was how they felt or you felt. And you could have said, why not? Why doesn't it feel right? Because something was misaligned. You had the Lovers in reverse, so something was misaligned. But my friends, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for being patient with me while I spoke my truth for a minute. I don't do that too much, but I just had to say something. That's the Queen of Swords in me. But I'm sending you lots of love and light, my friend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.